What's up, guys, and welcome to the To Inspire podcast. We are your hosts, Alanis Vasquez and
Samuel Levesque.
Samuel Levesque. We are making this podcast because we have been discussing it for a long time. And we started thinking that people were missing kind of this little spark about communication. And we felt like we had a lot to share. We were always saying that our conversations should be recorded. So we decided to record them.
So we want to, the goal of the podcast, and I'm French, so be kind with my English. I'm doing my best, but that's the most important part. It's if you understand me, okay? be kind with the word, but take the content. And we want to do that podcast because we realize life is about communication and about relationship. As human, we have relationship like couple relationship, we have friend, family, work. We all have different perspective. We're sitting in a different way, and it's not about who's right or who's wrong, but I think, and we think it's about how can both people be wrong and right at the same time.
Yeah.
And we were at an event, and we saw someone put a 9, and from one side we saw a 6, and from the other side of the room they see a 6, and it's the same thing, but it's just a different perception. So perspective. So the podcast, it's all about relationship, like couple, but also the work and communication and all that, with some personal growth, so we can share opinion, perspective, share what we learn, and help everybody.
And to start off, well, first of all, the name of the podcast here is To Inspire. So, Sam, let me ask you this. What does inspiration mean to you? What does inspiring someone mean to you?
Well, for me, I think inspiring someone, it's sharing a story where people can learn and relate, and that sparks something into you that make you want to change, that make you want to do something different. I had one of my mentors years and years ago, and he was there on a stage, and he spoke for like 10-15 minutes. But those words were so powerful. And I was like, wow, if he's doing that right now, I can do it too. So I think inspiration, for me, it's a big part of people who have knowledge and experience and share that in story and in fact, and they learn and they give back, so you can have the inspiration and the knowledge to grow.
Yeah, exactly. Same. I think that for me, inspiring means making people realize and believe that whatever dream they had when they were little, or whatever crazy idea came up inside their mind and everybody told them, you're too ambitious, you're too crazy, you're not going to be able to do this in this lifetime, make them believe again that they can. Make them believe in themselves that whatever they want to do, they can. Like, Elon Musk built freaking electrical vehicles 10 years in advance, let's say. Nobody would have expected right now in 2020, when they became popular, that he would have done that. And he did, because he believed in himself and he didn't listen to anybody else who criticized him. And so I think that inspiring, for me, that's what it is. It's planting that little seed in someone's mind that you are able to do it. And whatever you feed it with that, but do it. Continue growing.
So like you can see, it's all about relationship, communication, and personal growth. Normally the episode's going to be like 20 minutes. Maybe this one's going to be a little bit longer because it's the first one.
Yeah.
But normally we want to do different subject to learn more about ourselves first. So then we can understand other people better. And it's going to be like 20 minutes. So you can listen to it in the car or
while you're cooking
cleaning, or whatever.
Doing whatever you like, doing your jogging, whatever you want to do. Just, it's a quick, easy 20-minute talk. And we would love to have your feedback on it, by the way. Obviously, Sam and I were just two perspectives. So your perspective is another one. And we would love to hear about it because that's what it's all about. It's expanding our mind as well. I have a second question for you, Sam.
And I think that's the first subject today.
Oh, yeah. Communication?
Communication, yeah. We start with the most important thing.
Yep. So my question to you is, why is communicating so important?
Well, I think everything is about communication. And I think communication, it's not speaking the same language. Like now we're speaking English. And with my family, sometimes I speak French. But it doesn't mean we understand each other, trust me. Sometimes I speak French with my mom and we still don't understand each other. And sometimes we speak English together, French, and we don't understanding together. So I think communication is way more than language. I think communication is to be able to understand the other person from where it come, like this type of personality, and maybe even like the hurtful thing, like how you say blessure.
Wounds.
Yeah, the wounds. Sometime you're gonna see me do that. So if I don't have the word in English, the wounds, and it's more than just speaking. I think communication. Actually, it's listening a lot, because maybe we speak French, but if I don't listen to you, we're not on the same vibration. I'm not understanding what you're saying. So I need to be in a genuine place when I really want to listen and understand you. So now we can have a great and better communication, not just language.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like communicating is, if I could paint a picture of what communication means to me, it would be like opening a door to your vulnerability and to your personal space. Because if you're not communicating with someone, you can't expect them to ever understand you. You're not saying anything about yourself. You're not saying anything about how you want to be treated, how you want to be respected, spoken to. Like in sales, I learned that when we were young, we always used to say, treat others how you want to be treated. But no, that's not true. Everybody wants to be treated in a different way. I could treat you the way I want to be treated, and you could feel disrespected.
Yep.
So I think that communication is letting someone inside your personal space and, opening yourself up.
And you said be open, be vulnerable. But how do you do it? You know, it's not easy we'll always speak about perspective. And maybe something for me, it's natural and easy. And maybe something for you is natural and easy. Like for you being vulnerable and open, it's easy and natural. And for me, it's not. So how...
We're going to come back to that.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's the goal. We don't speak about any of the subject before, so we can have some real heat and reaction in the studio. Yeah. So let's get it.
It's not easy opening up, you say.
Okay. So how do you do it?
How do I do it?
Yeah, how do you, like, for someone's like, okay, being vulnerable. What is being vulnerable? What is being open? what is it, how you do it? Because we can say to people that listen to do this, do that, do this, do that. But if I tell you lose weight, but I don't understand, I don't explain you how nutrition and physical activity work and what to do, it's useless. So how do we do?
I lost you with the nutrition and all of that and being vulnerable, but
No, but you need, I want to understand how to do it so people know, they know now that they need to be open and
I
vulnerable.
understand.
But
Okay.
how? What's the step? What do you do? What's the mindset?
Being vulnerable, first of all, I feel like we're raised in a society where we have to be strong, boys and girls. Boys obviously a lot more than girls. Boys aren't allowed to cry, boys aren't allowed to feel, boys aren't allowed to a lot of things, and that sucks. We're changing that.
Yeah, so it's harder for boys.
No, it's not. But I feel like girls too have to be strong. Girls too, yeah, they're allowed to cry, but it's like not that much.
Cry, but not too much.
Yeah, exactly.
If you cry too much, you're a victim.
Exactly.
Stop crying.
Be
It's like,
sad, but don't be too sad. Don't be a victim, but feel your emotions, blah, blah, all that, whatever. So we're all raised in that kind of society. And I forgot where I was going with that. Being vulnerable. We all learn to be vulnerable, depending on what kind of family you were raised. But for me, I wasn't really... It wasn't accepted to feel your emotions publicly. And with time, what I learned, I'm going to do a long story short, I learned to freaking wear my heart on my sleeve. Like, I don't care. I don't care to be vulnerable because at the end of the day, it's my truth. We always say that a life without lies is the only time that you're going to be truly free, when there are no lies. And lying about your feelings, at the end of the day, it is a lie. So I wear my heart on my sleeve when people ask me how...
And you're lying to yourself.
Yeah. So I wear my heart on my sleeve. Whatever people ask, I'll be open about it. I don't mind opening myself up. And I think that people feel that. And so when I open myself up, well, they're a lot more prone to opening themselves up as well, because it's easier. You see that I'm not judging. You could be judging me, but even if you are, I don't care. I don't care, because life will do life, and people who are there for a reason, and it is what it is. We changed the subject quick, bro.
I was about to ask a question, but I'm like, if I'm going here, we're completely switching. I was about to ask you, but if you're too open and vulnerable, do you think some people can take advantage of it?
100%.
And can it make you more like...
We'll talk about that on another episode, because that's a long... naive. Yeah. We'll talk about that on another episode.
You take note so we don't forget to talk
for
about
real.
it.
How can I say
But
it?
I think it's okay if sometime we do a... How you say dérapage?
I don't know. Jan?
Yeah, because you see both of us, but we are three.
Yeah. We have a friend. Being vulnerable.
Anyway, drifting. I think it's okay if sometime we drift, if it's constructive drifting.
100%, but
Controlled drifting.
let's
Tokyo drift.
No. See, that's his kind of drifting. That's his kind of drifting where he's like, that's another story for another day. No, not today.
All right. And I think when we talk about communication, now we have two big points. My point was to listen. Your point is to be vulnerable. I think it's both. You need to do a combination of being really there, listening, and vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And when we talk about communication, there's like some stuff to understand, and there's there's different type of communication.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what are the most common type of communication?
Yeah, well, obviously verbally speaking, words, nonverbal. So everything, I think that the first 7 seconds is when you make your first appearance, your first impression, I mean.
Yep.
And in those 7 seconds, usually people don't normally speak. Like you meet someone and all that's happening in that 7 seconds, it's evaluating the nonverbal. So your eyes, your movement, your all of that. After that, for me, there's also energetic
Energetic, yeah.
communication, but we're not going to go into that today.
Nope.
And obviously digital communication. So if you guys are both working and are always separated and you just text, you know very well that conversations over text and conversations in person are not the same
thing
at all.
You can't see the energy, you can't see the face.
Exactly.
Because 80% of the communication, it's non-verbal. 80% of the communication, it's non-verbal. If I say, yeah, everything's going well, and I'm like that, yeah, everything's going well. Or if I say, yeah, everything's going well.
It was the exact same words.
Same word.
Completely different meaning, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's 80% nonverbal. That's why a lot of time when you speak to me, what you say and you're nonverbal, it's not like
this.
Yeah,
nonverbal?
it's not like really a line. You see, like you tell me, yeah, it's good, no problem, and I'm looking at you nonverbal.
Yeah, no, continue. I mean, I'm loving what you're saying right now.
And then I'm like, well, that's not really what she's saying. And then when I ask you, no, but and I call you out on it, and I'm like, well, are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. You know, that's what we mean by nonverbal.
80% is nonverbal.
Yeah. I think a woman in general, they use a lot of nonverbal communication, and it's okay. It's not it's okay. It's cool.
So we've got that kind of energy.
It's a lot of nonverbal communication.
One of the best advice I ever got was when you're sending a message to someone that's very important, send it by voice message. If you're not able to call them or it's not, how do we say ça vaut pas la peine? Ça vaut pas la joie?
Yeah.
It's not worth it to call the person. Just send a voice message.
Oh yeah, me, I love voice message.
Sam loves voice messages, but
I do love but it's better, you know.
I'm gonna expose you so bad in this podcast.
I mean, I'm gonna expose you too, so let's expose each other.
Okay,
you just said being vulnerable, and true and honest and real.
Yeah, let's go.
I love voice message. Because you can see my energy, you know. I can be like, yeah, it's perfect, or like, no, it's not, you know. No, I think voice message is the best thing. I don't like texting. I like voice message. You can see my intention
and his
in my voice.
Intensity as well. Intention and intensity. Love it. Yeah, so there's that, and there's also the emotional communication. But
I think you can communicate in a lot of way with your emotion, like art, no, like singing, dancing.
Oh yeah.
All kind of art.
Yeah.
It's a way to communicate and express too.
For sure, singing for me, you know it very well. I feel like when I sing, I impersonate the feeling of what the singer and the author went through, and I completely lose myself in the song. Same thing in the dance. I'm not an expert dancer, but whenever I dance, I lose myself in it. I lose myself in the feeling, and I think that that's the purpose of songs and of dancers and of singers and artists in general, is that when people look at a piece of art or a song or anything like that, they can understand kind of what the person was going through what they wanted to share, but as well putting their own perspective to it. I heard an author say, I have one reason to write a song, but they have 80,000 different reasons to listen to it. And I love
strong.
that so much. That touched my heart.
That's really strong and really true.
And really true. I think, are we done with this?
Yeah, I mean,
we covered what communication is.
Fast.
They know you're Sam.
They know you're Alanis. They know the purpose of the the podcast.
It's to inspire.
We cover a little bit about communication. Do you have like one big key or last thing to say to people about communication before letting them know our next subject that will be directly in context, in how you say it will be directly
No, not correlated.
linked
Linked. Yeah.
with this
This
episode. So do you have like one giveaway, one thing to say about communication, like the most important thing?
Prioritize it over anything in your relationship. The first thing Sam and I did when we started going out, and what I mean when I say the first thing, I mean like we weren't even going out. We sat down and we were like, okay, I am like this. Cheating for me is this. Disrespecting is this. Loving the way we want to be loved, that's going to be for another episode as well, is this. We discussed, I think, everything, the most important things that there were to discuss.
And we put a lot of rule, but that's for another episode.
Yeah,
too.
we had a
put
lot
of rule at the beginning. It's this and this is the rule, and relationship, it's like a business.
I feel like that's why we're still together to this day, is because day one we were like, here are my boundaries.
Yep.
And I will not tolerate more than that. But I am open to understanding your point of view if ever we don't agree.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I think you're right. Communication is the most important thing, and if there's not a communication, there's nothing. So you need to communicate, guys.
Yeah.
You need to listen.
And sometimes it's hard to speak to someone, like when there's an issue or anything. What helps me a lot is writing. I love writing. So whenever I feel my emotions too strongly and I can't speak them out loud, I will write them. I will read them. It'll help me calm me down. And then I'll give it to him and I'll be like, I feel this way.
Yep. Read it.
Read it.
Yeah.
And yeah. So communicate at the end of the day. Just do it.
Yeah.
Good.
Perfect.
And one last question. Are you ready for my last question?
I'm ready for your last question.
Do you think understanding others is easier than to communicate with them? And do you think that our personality types have anything to do with that?
Yeah.
Definitely.
I definitely
You can do it.
Definitely
There
think that our personality type affect our way to communicate and to understand each other. I think if we understand our personality and other type of personality, communication will go way better, for sure.
I guess that'll have to be spoken to in the next episode.
So that's the next episode. How to understand the different personality type, what's your type, and people around you.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in.
See you soon. Let's go.
Peace.